again. So another interesting session, and historically, of course, the beauty and luxury sectors have been dominated by Western standards, but the boom of the non-Western beauty entrepreneurs has turned the industry on its head. Today, this is what we're going to be discussing with the founder of Fable and Main, Akash Mehta, on remaking the face of luxury industry and combining heritage and innovation in this industry. Akash, please join me on the stage.
Thank you so much.
So before we start, let's do something fun?
Yeah, let's do something fun.
Okay, let me just put my papers
you guys
away.
have been sitting for a while, so we're going to do big tiger, little tiger. So can everyone just stand up for one second?
Please, everyone. We've been sitting for quite some time now, so let's just move.
So when I say big tiger, you're going to go rah. When I say little tiger, you're going to go rah. You ready? Okay.
Ready?
Go. Big tiger, rah. Big tiger, rah. Little tiger, rah. Little tiger, rah. Faster. Big tiger, little tiger, little tiger. Okay, we're good. Thank you.
We're good. Thank you so much. Please have a seat.
Thank you. I clearly love tigers.
Yeah, it's beautiful. It's a beautiful way to bring the energy back.
Yeah, we've got to bring the energy up, so it's perfect.
Okay, so Fable and Main, and of course, this brand is known for blending Indian beauty rituals with modern luxury. So what inspired you to have this mix and to create Fable and Main?
Yeah, so a little bit about me. I have worked in the beauty industry for quite a few years. I was an engineer before that, but we're not going to talk about that. And working in corporate beauty, so I worked for Estee Lauder companies and then LVMH's Dior. I often felt like I didn't feel our culture, the South Asian, heritage was really championed. And there were quite a few moments, I won't mention specifics, but there was some racism, there was some kind of forgottenness of our kind of, our pride of our own heritage. And instead of running to HR and saying, hey, this is not okay, I thought we need to have more brands out there that can inspire these leaders that actually we can exist in beauty. I don't know when the last time anyone has seen like a South Asian model on a big billboard of a beauty campaign in the Western world, right? So I wanted to create a brand that celebrated our culture. And Fable and Main, we launched in April 2020, and we became the first Ayurvedic brand at Sephora, and the first South Asian hair brand at Sephora. And now there's many more, which is really exciting. So yeah, that was a real catalyst.
I think it's fair to say that your engineering degree helped you engineer beauty in the years to come. So it was helpful.
I have to give credit. It definitely was helpful. But I think the main also reason is you have to have a purpose beyond just creating something. Growing up.
Follow what you love. Follow your passion.
Exactly.
So whenever we talk about cultural heritage and incorporating cultural heritage into branding or products or marketing, there is always the risk of, having touched stereotypes and cultural stereotypes. So how do you deal with this challenge, with these issues around stereotypes, when you have so much cultural factors integrated in your marketing teams and your branding?
That's a great question. I think for us, it's about first honoring the heritage and doing research. So education is the most important thing. So we spend a lot of time teaching ourselves and just learning about why, where we got all this inspiration from. Ayurveda, for those who don't know, it's a 4,000-year-old science. This is something that's been passed down by generations, but it's evolving. So we also have to think about what is the new generation's opinion and version of Ayurveda, and we want Fable and Main to be a part of it. So we definitely kind of always give homage to our roots, and we kind of do a lot of kind of content based on kind of going back to India, learning from our elders, and unfortunately my grandmas are not around. It's one of the reasons why we started the brand, was inspired by my grandma. So when she passed away, we created the brand in honor of her. So it's really about capturing the essence of India and keeping it for a legacy to continue.
So ethical sourcing is a topic that comes on and off in several headlines around the globe with companies that deal with consumers or that mostly are in retail sector. So to what extent this is something that you take into consideration in the manufacturing and operational process of Fable and Main?
Yeah, ethical sourcing is paramount of importance. It's actually the side of the business, our kind of production operations. It's the most expensive side for us because we've invested so heavily from day one. So that involved hiring the best, so working with the right consultants and leaders in those spaces, because it is a journey. We don't know it all. I've learned so much by creating the brand. I definitely knew I wanted to honor our roots, so kind of using a lot of the Ayurvedic ingredients. We wanted to make sure we give back to our homeland, and we source ethically from India a lot of our ingredients. But we also make sure that we are always up to date with the recent trends and kind of innovation when it comes to the supply chain. So a lot of work, sleepless nights often, but it is something that excites me the most, because ultimately when you create a brand, let's be honest, it's a waste. There are products out there, there's packaging. We can only do the best we can, and making sure that this brand really leaves a positive impact on the planet, not a negative one.
So whenever I walk into a beauty shop or places that sells makeup and beauty products like Sephora or others, there's always this section of Asian beauty products, and when each and every one of them promise you the best things in the world and the best skin and anti-aging and all of that. So when you look at what is happening globally when it comes to beauty trends, and at the same time you want to also stay rooted to your culture and to what Fable and Main is really about. How do you balance that? I mean, what's happening globally with beauty trends and at the same time uplift, staying rooted when it comes to what Fable and Main is about. So how do you keep that balance?
It's a great question, and I have a very simple answer. I kind of bring it back to like video games, and that sounds very odd, right? But I've created Fable and Main like a video game. So everyone touching our brand, our consumers, our employees, they need to know the land that we are playing in. So for us, it's quite simple. It's the land of India. So for us, everything has to feel authentic to the place that we've created. If we're doing an event, it's natural. I'm going to be serving Indian food, not Japanese food, for example, right? So you have to think about, these are your citizens that are coming on. They could be visitors for a day. They could be residents, like my employees. They got to feel that they're playing a true, authentic version of our game, because that's what business is at the end of the day. And that helps us have a little bit of a sense of rootedness, so we don't go into different tangents. So I encourage everyone in their business to think of it like, what is your land, your kingdom that you guys are creating? It's very important.
So this is beautiful. So I would like to ask you a question that I think many ladies here would love to hear from you. Do you experiment with traditional hair rituals? I mean, I know my grandma and her grandma. Everybody has a certain secret recipe for the perfect hair and shiny roots. And so, to what extent do you experiment with traditional rituals, and you maybe add a little bit of spices on top before you come up with the perfect product?
I mean, all the time. Our product development is all based on Ayurvedic innovation. So that means trying to find these potentially for the Western world abnormal ingredients, but for us in our culture, these are things that we've been eating or using in our rituals for a long time. So for example, onion juice is incredible for hair growth. Fun fact, if you don't believe it, ask Cardi B. Cardi B's secret to her beautiful hair is onion water as a rinse. So when we looked at onion, we thought, how can we bring that to our new product? So our recent volumizing range is all full of onion and apple, which seems quite odd. When I was telling our Sephora merchants, they were like, onion? I was like, trust me, onion is great. There's also, for example, if people have issues with preventing grayness, you could use things like hibiscus, dried it into a paste. It's really amazing for premature graying and stuff. And also, another one of my favorites is fenugreek. Soak it, and then again use that paste. It just really helps to strengthen the follicles, but also it helps with dandruff. So, I mean, there are so many, which is why sometimes it's instead of going to a kid's shop, I go to my nanny's pantry, and there's so many ingredients we can play with. Not all of them work, not all of them smell good, not all of them feel good, but it's fun to experiment.
So where do you see Fable and Main in the 10 years to come?
So I'll be honest, the reason why we did the tiger exercise and I wear a tiger, I am obsessed with animals. My whole thing is I don't really, like my dream isn't to create the largest beauty brands in the world. My dream is to help the wildlife that's on this planet. So ultimately, that's what me and my sister said from like 3 years old, 4 years old, the minute we could speak. So I'm using ventures like businesses as a catalyst to make the funds to put into our own fund. So I have the Fable fund, like Fable and Main, but Fable fund. That's helping big cats, but eventually we want to have other pillars of other kind of different species. And eventually when we exit the business, I want majority of the sale to go to the fund, and I want to keep on building ventures, because I don't want to be a fund that goes knocking on people's doors, fundraising. I think we need to really link a little bit the gap between entrepreneurship, business, and actual giving back, not this like 1, 2, 3%. I'm thinking like 80%, because why not? So I think that's what I hope to see is, while the brand will be bigger, I hope our wildlife mission will be even bigger.
So one of the most interesting topics that was discussed during IGF this year is sustainability.
Yeah.
So let me ask you this. How do you integrate sustainability into your operations, especially that now many consumers around the globe are really becoming, they have a certain level of a commitment to the climate. So what do you do for consumers when it comes to adhering to sustainability goals?
First, transparency. I think that's the most important, is making sure we are as transparent as possible. We get a lot of inbound questions every day that we're answering all the time about our sustainability agendas and goals. We also, from that, being transparent means a lot of education, because we also need to learn a lot. So we held a lot of accountability to all our partners, our supply chain partners, our retail partners, our marketing partners, to see how we can do better together, because it's a collective mission. We are like on our B Corp journey. You know, we have other ventures out there that can give you those seals of approval, which helps, because sometimes consumers like seeing those seals that show in a very simple form. But we also try to go further. So I'm on a board of a lot of different councils, like the British Beauty Council. We're looking at like introducing potentially like traffic light systems into beauty packaging. You know, like how you have in food, red, yellow, green. Like, how can you make it so simple? Because we live in a 3-second ephemeral world. Consumers don't have time to really research, go on your website. We need to build and really bring sustainability at the forefront, but make it accessible and easy. So that's what I'm trying to do here.
Another topic that was discussed globally during 2024 is the new age of AI.
Yes.
And what does it mean for different industries? In your opinion, is there any way, this is a personal question, okay, let's keep it at that. So to what extent do you think that AI will make us look younger as we age?
Ooh, well, I have a slight issue with
this
that.
This is what all the ladies want to answer for. So I'm going to ask you I'm going to ask it on behalf of all of you.
I personally don't think looking younger, I think aging is beautiful. I just want to really reiterate that. Also, as someone who looks like a baby, I want to age, so I always tell people I'm older than I am. But I would say AI definitely is an enabler for anyone's kind of goals. So if someone's goal is to use AI to help them, you know, maybe advance technologies or advance innovation, that's something we're looking at. We can't really speak about like ageism or like youth, because we're more focused on the hair. But I will say, like, we are looking at AI solutions to help drive innovations, drive costs down, and also just, again, with that transparency, help us drive forward Ayurveda, because 4,000 years ago, I mean, even 10 years ago, there was no AI in Ayurveda. So we're trying to bring that in a bit.
So another question I'm sure that many ladies here would like to ask you, since you experiment a lot with Fable and Main, and you try all different recipes and chemical compounds, what is the number one chemical compound or ingredient, whether natural or chemically produced, that you consider as anti-aging?
Ooh, again, I would say anti-aging from hair. I'm going to always talk about hair, because I'm not skilled and trained to talk about skin. I wish one day I'll be trained in that. But ashwagandha is an incredible ingredient, also for skin and for hair, that really helps strengthen. If you actually look at the Sanskrit word, like ashwagandha means strength of a horse, like a stallion.
Ah, okay.
So this is a strengthening ingredient or root. Put it in your protein shakes. Put it in your hair oils. That's what we have in
I'm
our
gonna
Fable
start
and
doing that.
Yeah, ashwagandha is going to be your best friend.
This is the expert talking, so I'm just going to
Yeah.
take your advice for it. Thank you so much,
Absolutely.
Akash, for being with us today.